This is Salam Radio, Peterborough's Muslim community.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening, and thank you very much for tuning in to Salam Radio on 106.2 FM. I'm your host, Shaz Nawaz, and I have with me
Kieron Bateman. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you today, Kieron?
I am all the better for having been here and seeing you.
You love every Monday, don't you?
I actually do really look forward to Monday.
Yeah,
good. I really enjoy doing this show.
How's your week been?
Very, very busy. Yeah.
Keeps you out of trouble, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's the only way.
Yeah.
It's the only way. I don't know what I'd do if I wasn't busy. I'd get bored.
Get bored, wouldn't you? Yeah. So would I. People say to me, why don't you stop working? You don't need to. I said, I'll probably end up dying after a week or so. Or boredom.
Yeah, we'll get into that on another episode. When is enough, and when is a good time to stop?
Yeah.
I'll note that down.
Yeah.
We'll get
but it's
that.
not just about people. I mean, everybody's at different stages, and I get that. But it's not just about going to work to earn money, if that makes sense.
No, it's about it's about having purpose.
Yeah. And
purpose is important.
A routine and something to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And building value. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as always, we'd love to have your interaction, participation. You can call us on 01733 602 133, text us on 07411 191062, or comment on any of the live streams on Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, or Twitch. So please do get in touch. This week on Wealth Made Simple, we are talking about understanding the value of your business, your value, your product, your offer, and your customers.
Yeah.
And that is a big topic, Kieron.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, the word value gets thrown around a lot. And I think a lot of the time you get people talking about what value they offer, or what their value offer is.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't, it becomes just a throwaway word because, oh, that's good value, that's good value, that's good. It's very much tied to monetary value. And that's only half of the equation. That's not even half the equation.
No, it's not, yeah.
You know, if you've got a business, or that business has value to you, but it may not have value to somebody else who doesn't agree with what you do as a business, doesn't agree with your principles, disagrees with you on a, your belief system has value to you, but
That's the biggest one.
yeah, but
That is the biggest one.
people have different belief systems. Each has intrinsic value for their own individual on a personal level, and then on a much broader scale, you value certain products and businesses because you trust them. Trust and value are very, very tightly woven.
Yeah.
And it's important to understand that thing.
And value is very subjective.
Yeah.
So and you talk about belief system. One person may think traveling business class, for example, Kieron, is good value. Another may think that's extortionate.
Yeah.
That's my month's salary, for example. I'd never pay that.
I only travel business class.
But you know what I mean?
It's why I only go on holiday once every 10 years.
You save up.
Well, yeah, because the experience of traveling that way is valuable to me.
Yeah.
Because I like being able to go to the airport lounge and have a meal before, not worry about the price or the cost or eating airport food. Because let's be honest, when you account, and this is the way I see it, when you account for all the additional ancillary costs, that you don't think about, it's probably just as cheap to fly business class. In some cases, it probably is, because someone says, "Oh, I got a really good deal on a holiday. It was great value for money." Okay, great. I only spent £500. Family of four, £500.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. But that's on the flights out there. That's not your accommodation. That's not the food while you're out there. That's not the entertainment. That's not... You add all of that up. Suddenly, and that £500 holiday is closer to £4,000.
Yeah.
Whereas if I spend, I don't know, have a shorter holiday, and I spend £1,000 on my tickets, twice as much, but I'm flying business class. Well, I'm not buying food at the airport.
Yeah.
I'm not worrying about check-in. I'm not worried about this. I get there. I can spend the same amount as that as
You
somebody
get
else.
off your Luggage arrives first. You get out of there. There's a lot of convenience.
And you pay
You're
for
paying for the
convenience.
convenience, exactly. And then the other thing that you talked about, which I think is very important, was about your own kind of belief system.
Yes.
Because there are a certain number of people who will buy something based on their own self-worth and who they are.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they'll always buy the best thing, the most expensive thing. Will always fly business class or first class. Will always drive, a car of a certain standard. Because in their own selves, they see them, and they value themselves in a particular way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't know who they are, but it's our job to find out who they are.
But you can spot people like that quite well.
Of course, yeah.
And so how does all of this understanding value relate to wealth building? Because here on Wealth Made Simple, we're all about making wealth simple for you.
Of course.
And some of the things we've covered. I mean, we started this year with the build up to how to develop a system, and if you listen from January through to now, it's almost like a play-by-play of step 1, step 2, step 3, and that's what we're aiming to achieve this year.
Yep.
Is go back and listen to the other episodes, and then come to value. And some of the stuff that we talk about will suddenly start making more sense.
Of course.
So, like business value.
Yeah.
It's not just about the value monetary of your business. It's about what value your business gives to others. What do you value? What values do you give to others? What is the most important thing to you right now? What do you value highest? Is it number of customers? Is it amount of money in your bank account? Is it how much you can charge for your services? Is it something else that I haven't thought about? Because I'm not an encyclopedia. I don't have an exhaustive list. I'm pretty good most of the time, but
You are.
but the first things first is where do your values lie?
Yeah. Which is an interesting journey, which I guess is for a different day and a different episode. But in terms of talking about own value, what I find really interesting is most, let's say, small business owners will say, but I always pay myself last. And sometimes, some months,
Not
I
at
don't
all.
get paid.
So I say to those business owners, why do you value your time so little?
Yeah.
Why
That's
do
right.
you value yourself? You started this business.
Yeah. Which I serve you.
Which you are serving other people. You have staff, unless you're a completely one-man band. But generally, small businesses have a couple of members of staff. They've got salaries to pay. They've got building rents to
Overheads,
pay.
yeah.
They've got overheads. And you're saying, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman. I've got a small business. I've got this. And some months I don't even get paid. So what you're saying is your time is worthless? I don't believe that for 1 second. Look at the work you put in to get to where you are.
So I subscribe and I'm a big believer of pay yourself first.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. Yes.
And
pay
then-
yourself
and then
first.
If you think cash flow's tight, well, now that you're paying yourself first, and let's say you're paying yourself £1,000.
Yeah.
Because people pay in different ways, as you know, based on the business structure that they have. So I'm just keeping it really simple. And I'm not saying £1,000 is enough for someone to take. It's just an example. And you're going to be short by £1,000 by the end of the month, and that's why you didn't pay yourself last month. So you pay yourself first, and then you immediately going to be focused on how do I make an extra £1,000 this month?
Yeah.
Do I collect more debt? Do I sell more product? Do I do more marketing? Do I cross sell more? Do I upsell more? You start thinking of these interesting concepts and ways to make sure you bring in an extra grand a month.
Because bringing that money in becomes more valuable to you because you're getting paid first.
Exactly.
And the flip side of that, and I think it's interesting, I would say a solid 99% of entrepreneurs and care about other people.
Yeah.
And they care about other people more than they care about themselves in a lot of cases.
Yes.
Which is why they pay themselves last.
Yeah.
Because they don't want their staff to go short.
Yes.
Okay, well, turn that around. Start paying yourself first, and then go, right, okay, I've paid myself. That's good. I'm covered. Now I need to cover my staff. Oh, and then you get that real sense of guilt if they don't get paid, but
responsibility,
also responsibility to make sure that you do everything you can to make as much as you can, so that they never go without.
Yes.
But you can't do that if you don't do that if you're always paying yourself last.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when you look at that theme, that runs across everything that they do.
Yeah.
They want to get fit, for example. They don't go to the gym because they haven't got time, because they're running in their business. They want to do this, they want to do that. They're always neglecting themselves. And then when you sit with them, they wonder why things aren't working out, and why maybe they haven't got the respect that they deserve from other business owners and their team members and their suppliers and their customers and patients and tenants and clients and so on and so forth. And you think, well, you're doing it all the wrong way around.
Yeah.
And then what's really important is there's a difference between valuing yourself and protecting that, and then being arrogant and narcissistic about it.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, don't take the mickey.
Yeah.
You know,
because some people just do crazy stuff. Oh, because I value myself, I'll be blah 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 whatever ABC. You think that's a bit OTT, really. You know.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to remain grounded.
I think it's important to understand the difference between MVP is minimal viable product, but minimal valuable product.
Yeah.
And you think of yourself as that product.
Yeah.
If you give yourself the minimal value, you receive the minimal value from others.
Yeah.
Because they see in you what you see in yourself. If you give yourself too much value, and you start, and invariably when you've got too much value on yourself, it's at the cost of others.
Yeah.
People don't like that either. But so, and the way I like to think about it is, my value is X, I am worth X, and this is what I pay myself.
Yeah.
After that, I pay everyone else, get all the overheads covered and everything else.
Uh-huh.
Then if I've done well, I can reward myself. That's where I get the extra. It's the reward.
100%.
But the value first has to be for myself, then my people, then my...
Yeah, in that order, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, 100%. And I think that's incredibly important.
Yeah.
But and there's a fine balance between that and, like I said, overvaluing yourself and undervaluing yourself.
Yeah.
Because of ego.
Yeah. Ego is the great destroyer of small businesses.
Absolutely.
Undervaluing yourself is the great destroyer of small businesses.
Yeah. And both are as bad and dangerous as each other.
Yeah, they really are.
And I guess it's not easy to find a happy medium, but as you said, you've got to go on that journey to figure out what your values are.
Yep.
And then figure out what's important to you, and figure out what those non-negotiables are in your life.
Yeah.
Okay? And then when you set those parameters and those boundaries and those rules for yourself, and you can change them, by the way, if they don't work or if you're not happy with them, then you can move forward.
Yeah. And I would say anytime you're trying something or you're testing something, test it. Don't carve it into stone and say it's immutable. Make sure you test it.
Yeah.
Because, everything changes. Your view on life changes.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's why it's iterative, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole journey is iterative. And
Yes.
what's interesting, though, is this. Because I've done quite a bit of work, which you also be supposed to hear, on values, both on how do you build the value in a business, because I've been involved in quite a few clients buying and selling businesses.
Yeah.
And then but importantly, what are your own values? And when you run this exercise with people about what their values are, they'll give you a list of things. And then when you get them to list out two different things. One is demonstrate how you're living that particular value. They struggle to demonstrate that because they're not doing it.
It's not as easy as it sounds.
And then when you get them to say, okay, what are you spending most of your time? This is more to do with your values in terms of your life and your business. And say, write that down in terms of the things that you do. Those things don't come up.
No.
because they're not doing them. So they just give you the 3, 5, 7 words, okay, that they think are quite nice to have, or will make them look nice, or what they would like to work towards.
Yeah.
Well, you got to understand where you are first, then move forward to where you want to be.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a lot of people say they want to do good in the community. They want to give back. They want to do this, that, the other. Okay. How many people turn up to help at Soup Kitchen? How many people donate to food banks?
Yeah. And everything else, yeah.
And all the other things that go with it. The thing with giving back isn't necessarily about monetary value. It's about time value.
Yeah.
And most people say they want to give it or they say all the right things, but the one thing you ask them what they're doing about that, they're not giving their time. They're not giving their money.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to give money, but if you're going to say you want to do these things, then you do have to give time as a minimum.
Yeah. Of some sort, absolutely.
Actions speak louder than words.
And there's some who do a lot.
And there's some who do.
Whatever rights for anybody, as we said.
Yeah.
Most of this
and
stuff.
I'm not judging anyone based on what they do or don't do.
Of course you are, you know.
Yeah. I'm just saying that don't claim to have done something or do something when your actions don't back it up.
Of course.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Be congruent.
Yeah. And
and
have value
authentic
in what you say.
Yeah.
Because if you value what you say and you do what you say and you say what you do, people will value your words heavily.
Absolutely, yeah.
Otherwise, they'll be like, oh, yeah, Shaz talks, but, I mean, he talks, doesn't he?
It's not rocket science, is it?
Yeah. And people see through that.
Yeah. So let's now talk a bit about the value of a business.
Yes. And what makes a business valuable?
Yeah. So, this isn't about how to value a business per se.
No.
But I'll just talk a little bit about that. First, a lot of different ways to value a business. And it all depends on the type of industry that you're in. So in some industries, it's based totally on your turnover. So like if you're an independent financial advisor, it's based on the turnover. If you're an accountant, generally speaking, it's based on the turnover. If you're in insurance business, it's linked with your turnover in terms of how many people are renewing their policy every single year. And then for other businesses, it's basically your net profit, which is called the EBITDA, earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. You then find a multiple. Is it 3 times, 5 times, 7, 9, 10, 11, 10, 20, 30, 40, okay?
EBITDA.
And then for others, it's the value of the balance sheet. Then for others, it's the cash flow that you're generating every single year going forward, and the net present value. So there's many different ways to value a business.
And you've done them all with varying different businesses at varying different times of your life.
In helping people out, to help them to either buy or sell a business, and it's very interesting. And if anybody's looking to exit, then you want to go through that process, okay? And then obviously with that, you've got legal DD, financial DD, all that kind of stuff, and you've got to go through all of that yourself. And even if you're not selling a business, if you go through all that, it is an incredibly insightful experience and process which can help you to think about things differently and raise your awareness, and you'll then start building value in your business. Because a lot of small businesses, and the reason why we're obviously focusing on small businesses is most of our listeners, whether live or later on, okay, tend to be in the small business arena, tend to be investors, developers, that type of stuff, okay, and seem to have a keen interest in property too. And it's when you talk to people and say, well, I'm making a certain amount of money every single year. I'm not happy, but I've been doing this for 10 years, 15 years. And really the main value is in my business. And then when I retire, I'm going to sell it. And that's what I'm going to make the big chunk. That's the way they think. That's not me using it.
And that's okay if that's what you want to do. But the value in your business or in your knowledge? Yeah,
which we'll come to that in a second, but you're right. But then, when it comes to the end, most people don't want to buy small businesses.
No.
They struggle to sell them. And they'll either pass them on to their children if they're interested, sell them to their employees, and a lot of them, by the way, Kieron, just shut up shop.
Close up shop.
Because they can't sell it. Because they haven't thought about these things, okay, enough to make it work.
Yeah.
So what things should people be looking at in terms of building the value of their business? Well, the first one, as you said, is the expertise of the individuals and the capabilities of the business itself.
Yeah, and I think for this one is, and we've covered this a bit before, and we will probably do a deeper dive another time, is my expertise in my business is mine alone.
Yeah.
It's not on paper. It's not part of a process. My business is me dependent.
Yeah.
And that's okay for the type of business that I do. And that's fine. I carry the experience. I carry the knowledge. My business is all around me. When I stop working, my business stops working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your business...
It's a personal brand.
Yeah, mine is. Your business is process driven.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone can come into your business with the right qualifications and go, okay, and you can go, right, speak to these people. They will give you the processes. They will give you the logins, and your business will keep going. Without you there, it keeps going because it's process driven. And there is more value in that than there is in my people driven business.
Yeah. Because when you're not there, using that example, there is no business.
No.
Yeah. And again, we'll talk about making it process dependent, not people dependent in a while. So look at that expertise that your business has. And then I always say, make sure you've got some kind of a backup for each type of expertise.
Yeah.
And which is, depending on the size of the team, I mean, you use the example of having, if someone's employing 2 people, then it makes it harder. But as your team gets bigger to 5, 7, 10, so on and so forth, make sure at least 2 people can do the same job.
Yes.
Because if one, gets run over by a bus, which can happen, what's going to happen to your business?
It stops working.
Yeah.
When it stops working, it stops making money. When it stops making money, it falls apart. When it falls apart, your staff leave. When your staff leave, you're left with nothing at the end.
Yeah.
People-driven business, if it's more than one person, bad idea in my opinion. My opinion. Yeah,
you're right. I mean, just before Christmas, sadly, one of our clients passed away, and he had contracts with some local authorities, but he was the main driving force for doing the work.
Yep.
And passed away, and within 3 or 4 weeks, they lost all the council contracts, and they have no business because there was nobody else who could do what he did, and they could not deliver what they had to deliver,
which is a real shame.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? And that can happen to anybody.
Yep. But it's an education to those who watched it happen.
Yeah.
That they can't be people dependent.
Yeah, that's right. You got to have a process there and a backup.
Your value as an individual is directly proportionate to what you can put into the business.
Yeah.
But if you can't replicate that with somebody else, then
you don't have a business.
You don't have a business.
So, and then with that, the second one, which is important, is brand equity.
Yes.
And obviously, the bigger you are,
the more equity you get.
And the more important this is, okay? And this is about, are you consistently delivering value and quality?
Yep.
Are you a reliable business? Are you one that is focused on customers and has positive customer reviews? What do people think of your business when your name is mentioned?
Yeah.
The business is mentioned.
You know, I mean, let's talk about the big 3 here. Or big 4.
Yeah.
Big 4. Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone listening not heard of Coca-Cola?
All around the world, yeah. They're a big brand.
A huge brand. Yeah. But Coca-Cola don't do sales as a general rule.
Yeah.
Their products are rarely in a discount bin. You know?
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah.
Customer focused. The value in that name. Apple.
Yeah.
Apple don't do sales. They value their product so highly.
Yeah.
Their products don't go on discount. Their products don't do in sale. The only way to get a cheaper Apple product is a refurbished one.
Yeah.
That's their value. That's their equity.
Yeah.
You know, and Amazon. Get your package. Get whatever you want delivered to you quickly.
Yeah.
But
then live to that promise.
Yep. And the thing with all 4 of these is they deliver their promises, and their value to them as companies is the customer. Their processes value the customer first. Yeah. That's why they're where they are.
Yeah, and I think it was Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, said the most important person in your business is your customer, because they can take their money and spend it elsewhere.
Yep.
And then you have no business.
This is true.
So we've just opened up, obviously, because all of these topics, as you know,
barely
Kieron,
scratched the surface.
Yeah, you can go for hours and hours, sometimes days.
We really could.
To go into a lot of depth. But we just open the topic up. We're going to go for a short break. After the break, we're then going to go into some of the other areas in terms of building value, both for yourself and your customers and for your business, so that you can build real, true wealth and have an exit plan. So we'll see you very shortly, just after this very quick break.
You're listening to Salam Radio, and it's now time for Isha Azan. This Azan is sponsored by Park Foods. Come and see the difference.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر، الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم، وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم بك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك المصير. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا.
Find us on Facebook at Salam Radio.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening, and thank you for rejoining if you were with us in the first half, and welcome if you just joined us on this particular show. My name's Shaz and I have with me in the studio
Kieron Bateman. I had
and
to think about that for a second, didn't I? What's my name again?
so did I. I don't know, what's your name? Yeah.
Who is this guy? What does he do?
Why is he here and what's he talking about? And talking about, well, we'll come on to it in a second, but as with every single week, we love your interaction and your participation. That's what keeps us going. So please feel free to call us on 01733 602133, text on 07411 191062, or comment on any of the live streams on Facebook, YouTube, X, which is formerly Twitter, or Twitch. So plenty of ways to get in contact.
And please do. I'd love to hear people's opinions on this.
100%. Yeah. So this week on Wealth Made Simple, we're talking about value. Your value, which we've touched a bit on.
Very little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
Skated across the
there's
surface.
there's more to do. The value of your business, which I think is a massive topic in itself. Right? And then obviously delivering value to your customers, clients, tenants, patients, whoever they may be.
I mean, a lot of these subjects that we're covering, they come under the overall heading of value. They're like subheadings, but each one of them is its own iceberg.
100%.
And we're only teetering on the
The
surface.
tip.
There's so much deeper we could go.
Yeah. So the two things that we've talked about in terms of value are expertise and capabilities, and then we've talked about kind of brand value and equity, brand equity, which is a huge one. Yeah.
Yep.
Linked with that, Kieran, of course, is customer relationships.
Yes.
Which
Very
is
important.
Most important, isn't it?
I think possibly the most important thing in any business is the customer.
100%. Because we said before the break.
Without your customers, you've got nothing.
Yeah, I think because if they all speak with their feet
Yep.
and walk, you've got nothing left over.
Yep.
You've had it.
Yeah.
Okay? And we've seen that from time to time in certain businesses. So it's important to build those relationships, okay? Cultivate a strong, loyal customer base.
Which is actually quite amazing when you consider how many companies have bad customer service.
Yeah.
And they think that because there's no one else doing what they do, they can treat their customers poorly.
Or they don't pay as much attention to it. And I guess,
Yeah.
really, to some extent, think of this as creating some kind of a movement, a community, a tribe. And one of the best, or two of the best that I've seen, and I'm sure that there's others, but these come to mind. One is Apple,
Yep.
which you mentioned earlier, okay? Because their customers will defend their product to the T.
Yep.
And partly they're defending it because they own one, because that's their customer, yeah? But they actually really believe in it. And the other one is Disney.
Yes.
Because once you get talking to people who are fans of Disney, they sit there for an hour and talk about Disney. Same with Apple. They sit there for an hour and talk about Apple. Will your customers sit there and talk about, as in anybody listening, will your customers sit there for an hour and talk about you in a positive way? Don't know.
I'd like to say yes.
Yeah. But you've got to build that
You have
relationship.
to put all
and
my
that-
customers in the same room because
yeah. And then, of course, is thinking about with that in terms of values, the lifetime value that the customer has to you.
yeah.
So let's say somebody spends £500 with you every year, and they tend to stay with you for 5 years. Okay, they're worth £2,500 to you. 10 years, £5,000 to you. Okay, so and then the numbers can be obviously much bigger.
Yes.
If that's how much they're worth to you, how much money are you spending every single year to make sure that you are keeping them, at worst, satisfied, at best, thrilled and delighted? Most people don't spend anything.
Yeah. Oh,
'cause-
they've already bought from me. Why do I
Yeah,
care?
they're in now. They're in. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just carry on, and that's not the way to do it. And as you know, you've got it in my head now. Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the Apple Store, and I've been there for a long while, and your phone or whatever is broken. What do they usually do, Kieran?
Send you to the Genius Bar.
Yes. And the Genius Bar can't fix it.
They'll take care of it.
Yeah. And if they can't, if they realize that they can't fix it, what do?
Upgrade you.
Yeah. Simple.
Yep.
And how many of the businesses do that? They'll take your product away and they'll open it up and do this and that and do this. It's not worth it. Here you go, have a new one.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, an experience in good customer service. Yeah. It's very easy to hear about a bad customer experience. I can give you a list of 100 places I've been to where I've had a bad customer experience, and I will tell anyone that says they go in there, I had a bad experience.
Yeah.
How often do you tell people when you had a good experience?
Not as often.
And I say good, right? If you have an exceptional experience, though,
Yeah.
that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a package from a company. The package got delivered to my next door neighbour.
Mm-hmm.
The time where I was living, the house next door was a HMO.
Mm.
So I'd pretty much written that package off.
Mm.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And I went round, knocked on the door. No one knew anything about my package.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, fine. Written that off. Rung the company up and was like, okay, look, the package is gone. Your driver delivered it to the wrong address.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, terribly sorry to hear that. We'll send you out a new one.
Yeah.
It'll be with you in 2 days. Okay, fantastic. A day later, get a knock on the door. One of the other members of the HMO next door brought round my package. I'm like, this was delivered. I was okay. So I was straight back on the phone to the company. I was like, okay, it got delivered. It's fine. They brought it round. We're all cool. They're like, oh, no. We'll still send you out the replacement package. You can have 2. On us for the mistake. So sorry. How many companies do that?
How many?
You know?
Yeah.
And that, I mean, no quibble, no arguing. Just, yeah, we'll get you another one sent straight out. Oh, yours has arrived? Okay, no worries. We'll still send you another one out. No charge. And I mean, this was over £100 worth of items.
Yeah.
Didn't question it, just sent it out. That's exceptional customer service. And that's
how you build brand loyalty.
Has a lot of value to me. I won't leave that company because of my experience with them. They have a loyal customer.
Yeah.
For what? For a couple of £100 that they spent on. I've spent thousands with them. And I mean thousands.
And talked about them and in a positive way, and maybe directed people towards them, and you end up doing some of the selling for them.
Yeah.
They're so good, they're marvelous, they'll do this for you, they'll do that for you, nothing's too much trouble, blah, blah, blah. And whoever you're talking to is already half sold, if not more.
Yeah, because
you become an advocate, a champion for them.
It's easy for me to sell you on a company that I like.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for a salesman to sell you on a company that the salesman works for because they're getting paid to sell it to you.
And people don't trust them straight away because they know their job is to sell to me, and I'm being sold to, and we don't like being sold to.
No.
But the people you're recommending them to are friends and family and associates. And
people you intrinsically trust and value their opinion.
Yeah.
And we're straight back to value.
Exactly. So she's about spending that time on building and nurturing and strengthening those relationships with your customers. Then, alongside that, we've got innovation and adaptability, Kieron.
Yep.
And this is a big one as well, isn't it? What's your view on this?
I think that it's important to be innovative if it's done right.
And again, the same company comes to mind.
Well, Google changed the way we use the internet.
Oh, yes. But partly the way we live.
Yeah. Amazon changed the way we shop.
Yeah.
Just Eat changed the way we order takeaway food. Airbnb changed the way we book holidays.
Yeah. So on and so forth. Yeah.
So on and so forth. You can continue listing people like this. The wheel changed the way we move.
Yeah.
All the way back.
Yeah.
Right? It added value to our lives.
Yes.
And if you look throughout history, there has been many inventions that have seen the light of day for a year, maybe 2 years, and then dropped off because they don't add value.
Yeah.
And people look at it and go, oh, that's cool, that's innovative, that's amazing. And they get caught up in the fervour of the moment of the new idea. And the new idea has value, but the actual product doesn't, which is why ideas are great. You can see the value in an idea, but getting it to product and seeing how the product actually works is completely different. So be innovative, yes, but be innovative with a purpose. Solve a problem.
Yeah.
You know, take the wheel, for example. Getting from point A to point B to trade my berries for his wheat, you know, was a 2-day journey. Invent the wheel, that becomes, you know, I can hook that up to an animal and get there in a day. Fantastic. Suddenly, it's got intrinsic value. It solved a problem. It sped things up. It made life easier.
Plus, with innovation, they always bring something different, something new, usually solving problems that people have thought about and sometimes they haven't thought about. So you're always ahead of the curve.
Yeah. And I think on that, there are different problems for different ages.
Yeah.
And by ages, I mean historical ages, not ages as in you know, 10, 12, 20, 55. There are different problems for different ages in that respect too. But from a technological point of view, the more technology we create, the more problems we create. And, you know, look at me sat here, you know, first world problems. We've got technology problems. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But we have different problems to second world countries, third world countries.
Yeah.
Now, we can help solve, because we have that privileged position, we can add value to those other countries.
Yeah.
Because we can help solve some of their problems. Some of their problems are very difficult to solve.
Yes.
And, you know, this isn't that kind of show, so I'm not going to go too deeply down this rabbit hole. But there are solutions. And when someone comes up with an innovates, add an extra T in there. Must be because I'm English. I like the T. But when someone innovates to the point where, you know, the iPhone was an innovation, changed the world, changed the way we communicate.
And the way we use phones.
You know, 3G, wireless signals, 4G, 5G, changed the way we use the internet again. But all these different technologies were at one stage just an idea. But, and this is the point I'm making about innovation and the value of innovation, if these technologies had been invented 100 years earlier, they'd have been useless because they'd have had nothing to work with.
Yeah.
Someone could have invented a wireless electrical system. Looking at you, Tesla.
Yeah.
But it wasn't relevant to enough people. It didn't solve...
It's about timing, isn't it?
It's about timing. It's not just about having the best idea. It's about having the right idea at the right time. That's where the value is.
Yeah, and sometimes I think small businesses think, oh, innovation is that...
inventing something new. It's not.
New, and it's for the big corporates. And you can be small and you can still be innovative.
Yes.
In your own little way.
Yeah. And, I mean, part of the power of small businesses is the ability to change quickly.
Yeah.
And I see that as a massive superpower. You know, if I want to change the processes at Apple, Google, Coca-Cola, Microsoft, Amazon, if you want to change the processes in a global company, oh, that's going to take years, if ever, because those processes are written in stone.
Yeah. And this is the way we do it.
As a small company, if a new technology comes on the market that helps people use your product better, that helps people contact you better, connect with you better, then if you've got to invest in that new product for your customers, then invest, make that pivot, be innovative, change the way you communicate with your customers.
Yeah.
And suddenly you'll have more customers because people will go, oh, have you heard about this company? They're doing this. It's a bit different, but I like it.
And you just need enough people who like it.
Yeah.
You're not for anybody and everybody.
But being able to be that dynamic is valuable to you as a business owner, but it's really valuable to your customers because it means you can make your business work for them.
Absolutely. Next one then, I think is very important. This is operations. Operational efficiency, but I'll link that with also processes.
Yes, yeah.
and way too many small businesses are people dependent.
Yeah.
And people, as you know, will be good one day, not so good the next day, and even worse the day after.
Yeah.
It just depends on what's going on in our lives at that time, and how we're feeling, and so many other factors that we're not robots, so we're not going to churn out the same thing every single day.
And if you have a disagreement with a staff member or your boss, depending on which side of the fence you sit,
Yeah.
and I've had days when I was PAYE, and where I've had a disagreement with my manager, my senior manager. Disagreed with the way the company was being run, disagreed with the direction the company was going. But bear in mind, as an employee, I had limited knowledge, and I can look back and say I did not have the knowledge that I had. But it didn't change the fact that I was good at my job, but those days they got maybe 50%.
Yeah.
At best. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You go in, it feels like a 50% day.
Yeah.
Oh, great! They've announced their profits and their bonuses. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks. Feels like a 30% day that day. But but it does, because they didn't give me any value. They didn't value me, so I didn't value the work I put into the company.
Yeah.
Then I've worked for other bosses where they value my time, they value the work, they value what I do, and I will always strive to give 110%, as much as I can, go above and beyond. If they say they need something finishing and it takes me into the weekend, fine, I'll do it. They say they need me to cover a bit, I need to stay late to do a bit of it, fine, yes, because I know they value me. And in small businesses, big businesses, if you feel valued as an employee, you work harder.
100%. And there's loads of research show that.
Yeah. If you feel like a number, you act like a number.
And that's a whole different episode as well.
Yeah, it is. But it's the importance of value and being innovative within.
That's right. But I mean, having a business that's process dependent is worth a lot more, because then it doesn't rely on any one person.
Yep.
It's consistent.
Yep.
And the best example, or the most known example, which everybody would recognize, is McDonald's.
Yeah.
You haven't got Oxbridge graduates, okay, working at McDonald's after they've graduated. You've got predominantly people who are either working
their way through uni, or first job, or
left school or whatever. Okay, not every single person. Okay, but a lot of young people, which is great, by the way.
Yeah.
That it gives them an income running that place. But whether you go to McDonald's, we're based out in Peterborough, Kieron, or whether you go to McDonald's where you'll be in 3 or 4 hours time in Covent Garden,
yep,
pretty much the same experience, isn't it? Pretty much in terms of the food,
virtually identical.
How it all works.
Yep.
Okay, whether you drive through or you're eating in.
Yeah.
It's just clockwork, isn't it? Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
And that business will be worth a lot more than another restaurant, okay, which isn't as process dependent.
And and then we get into, McDonald's is not a fast food chain.
Yeah.
It's a property chain
Yeah, of course it
that
is.
sells fast food.
And toys.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
They're
I mean,
happy
that's a whole different
Yeah,
episode.
it is. Yeah.
But all of it is process driven. You know what you're going to get when you walk into a McDonald's. No matter where you are in the country.
So it's incredibly important to work on systems and processes.
Yep.
The system-dependent business, like I said, is robust, is consistent. Okay, you'll be able to scale it up more. You'll be able to have your hands off, because you'll now have visibility over what's going on. So you don't have to work as hard, and the business is working for you through the processes.
Work on your business, not in your business.
100%. Yeah, and working on it by creating those processes.
Yeah, and when you do that, when you're able to step back and see the bigger picture, which is something that very few people get the opportunity to do, you can add more value to your business.
Yeah.
As in the processes, the systems, value to the customers, because you can see where the faults are, because you're not head down in the mud looking from a narrow view, you can step back and go, okay, so all of my processes from left to right, we are customer contacts us. We contact the customer. We do this. We help the customer with this. We offer them some expert advice. We then offer them our services. They pay. They're a valued customer. We keep doing this. That's all. Yeah. And then you go, okay, so that's not working. Why is that process not working? Maybe we're not adding enough value to the customer's life. Okay, cool. Let's look at that.
Or maybe it's not clear to the people.
Or maybe it's not clear. Yeah.
So it's breaking down every single task and having a checklist or some kind of system on how to do it.
Yep.
So if the person doing that job isn't available, but somebody else picks it up, they just pick up the systems manual. Say, this is how I do this task.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Yeah, really straightforward.
Yep. And in terms of operational, it's really about saying, how do I optimize the resources that I have? How do I reduce waste? How do we maximize productivity? And and all of that, how do I enhance the value of my business?
Yeah.
Which is, again, important.
Should always be the goal.
Yeah.
And a lot of people lose sight of their value and their values when they're working really hard on keeping their business afloat.
Yeah.
Because it's people dependent. When it's process driven operations, the operational value of a business is valuable to you as the business owner. It's valuable to your staff as because it means they can teach, they can train, they can learn the process, and it's valuable to your customer because they know what they're going to get.
Yeah.
Trifecta there.
And with that, in terms of talking about efficiency and costs, it's incredibly important to obviously make sure you manage those costs properly, because the only thing you can manage in your business is costs. And the reason why I say that, Kieron, is your rent, your rates, your other costs, okay, are going to go out every single month no matter what happens. Yes. The income may be variable, okay? Yes. May come in, may not come in. And again, it's different for different businesses, yeah? But so it's important to make sure that you're efficient from a cost perspective. Yeah.
Yeah.
So efficiency isn't just about, obviously, your operational side. And then, obviously, and we won't have time to go through today, but I will just kind of touch on them. You've got leveraging core competencies of the business. You've got building and nurturing your own brand, which is linked to, obviously, partly your personal brand.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, there are other things like corporate social responsibility, which are important. Then it's looking at your own product, looking at the quality, reliability, looking at how is it convenient, can it be customized, who is it for, how well does it work, how innovative are the features, okay, what are the benefits, and things to do with design, brand association, customer loyalty, cost effectiveness, your customer support. There's a lot here, by the way.
Oh, yeah, right.
Quality.
We don't do our research by halves.
Durability, and so on and so forth. And it really is a huge area, and a very important one too, I think.
Yeah, I think closing thoughts. Value. Understand your value first. When you know your value and your worth, then you know what to value in the people that you interact with.
Yeah.
Once you know what people you want to interact with, how you want to work, you can create a valuable business. Uh-huh. When you've created a valuable business, you can valuable product. You've got value there, but none of that matters if none of it is also valuable to a customer. So sitting at the top of your tree is value your customer, understand your customer, see what they want, what they need, then bring value to their lives. And then it all works in synchronous harmony. Bring it all back to once all of that value is in place and you're giving value, you get monetary value back.
Of course you do.
And pay yourself first, because it'll incentivize you to maintain and look for better ways and better processes so that you can keep everyone around you happy, paid,
Yeah.
and a rising tide raises all ship.
Yep. And that then helps build value and worth in your business. And that's where the wealth comes in.
And it becomes a tornado of success.
Yeah, because,
it's just circular.
Profits go up, the EBITDA goes up, the multiple gets bigger because as your business gets bigger, the multiple may move from 1, 2, 3 EBITDA, okay, to 5, 6, 7, so on and so forth. And the whole thing works.
All that from adding value.
There you go. And it's just about one thing, isn't it? And then you list out all the different things you can do. Now you're on a mission.
Yep. And missions have far more chance of success than ideas.
Yeah. And just turning up.
Yep.
And that is a great starting point for you to think about how you're going to build more value in your life and in your business. So until next week, same time, same place, take good care of yourself, your family, your community, and your customers.
Stay
Bye-bye for
tuned
now.
to Salam Radio after this short ad break.